right, she's a two-time national champ. Wonder how much she thinks of that, being a two-time national champion. Pretty cool. She's Alynah Torres, and we got a lot to ask Alynah. I've got a lot to ask her. You, the subscribers, have a lot to ask her as well. But before we get into her thoughts about what she thinks about this year's team, her career as well, we got to get caught up on what's going on with Alynah Torres. Let us in on what's the latest with you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Nothing much. Still in Norman, getting my master's, finishing up hopefully in December. So that's fun. All the seniors from last year are still here, which is so
Yeah.
funny, except for Kelly Maxwell. She's in Japan playing pro. But yeah, I'm finishing up my master's for the summer, doing summer school, and then we're gonna go and get started with Spark and we're gonna get the gang back together. So we're excited.
What's your master's going to be in?
I'm gonna be in HR. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. Like you said, I just talked to Nicole May last week. She's at the game
Awesome.
there with Brito and Riley Boone. It kind of feels like in some ways the gang is still in town, which is
Yeah,
a
we
lot of
can't
fun.
get we can't get away from it.
Well, let's start here because I got a lot to ask about your career, but it's postseason. Come on, Super Regional Week is here. Give me just kind of your overall thoughts on what you've seen up to this point with this OU team.
Absolute chills. Postseason is literally the best time of the year. I know all the tournaments before, kind of it starts slow and then we blink an eye and World Series is here. So super excited. This year's team, oh my gosh, can you really say anything about it? Like Coach Gasso's literally reloaded and I don't know, like people probably hate OU because of it, and that's okay because you just
Yeah.
love talent, you love greatness, and this year's team is just so young. But everyone keeps talking about how they're so young, but they're honestly vets. You have Pick, you have Ella, you have Nelly. They played 1 year and they're acting like they're seniors on this team. So um I can't really say enough. I have no words, honestly. Like they really just like picked up where we ended and just kept it going, kept the ball rolling. So super proud of them. They don't act like they're young. I hate that narrative of they're just a young team. Whatever happens, happens. They're honestly vets, and Coach Gasso treats them like vets. So super excited about where they're going, and they have a very good shot of winning it all again.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Let's do for the 5P. So hate talking about it. I know coach is big on not talking about the 5P, but it's kind of hard when this team's so good. So
No, but that's a good point. I made a comment on the game last week. I think it was the Saturday game where the first five hitters in the order, nobody's a junior. They're either a true freshman,
yeah,
a redshirt freshman, or a true sophomore. But you're so right when you say they don't play like they're a young team. And forget about Pick and Ella Parker, even forget about Nelly, who was at least on the team last year. I see that with Gabby Garcia. I see that with Sydney Barker. I'm seeing that with Audrey Lowry. They're freshmen, but Alynah, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but it feels like they've been in the program like 3 years now with how calm, cool, and composed they've been this year.
absolutely. I will shout out Gabby Garcia. She's an AZ girl.
Mhm.
Her mom was a stud at ASU, four-time All-American. So she just has that in her blood. And so funny, actually, Gabby's mom was like my infield coach when I was little. So super funny. But yeah, no, Gabby's always been that way. Composure's there, all of it. So super happy for her. And I love that she's keeping like the AZ pipeline going. We always have like one AZ kid on the team. So that makes me super happy and so happy for her. Same with Barker though. Honestly, like I love the way Barker plays. Just she fights for every at bat, she fights for every pitch, and I love that. And I love that she's playing everywhere, kind of like what
Yeah.
I did. She's playing right, she's playing first, she's playing second. She's out and she's DHing. So super happy for her. And if you grind, you're gonna find a spot. So and that's the hard part is everyone on this team can play at any point. So
Yeah.
I think Coach Gass was very good developing quick. Fall is where it's hard, but once season comes, all these freshmen are seasoned. So
OU and Alabama in the Super Regional. And I'm going to set you up to talk about the Super Regional kind of by giving my thoughts about it. Like, I feel too good, like uncomfortably good about this thing, going into the weekend. But why I feel so good is just this program, this team. It almost feels like in a revenge spot in some ways. Like Bama got him in the regular season. I would feel like this team wants to make that right. I just don't feel like Bama is going to play as well as they did in Tuscaloosa. And most importantly, I don't feel like this offense is going to perform like it did in Tuscaloosa. This OU offense just feels like it's in a different spot. I don't know. I've always liked this matchup. I feel like it's a really good bounce back spot. What's your opinion on that, and just kind of your overall thoughts on OU and Bama this weekend?
Yeah, first of all, chills. The NCAA knew what they were doing with that one, which is
Mhm.
cool. I know they always have their storylines and stuff like that, but I just think overall, if you're a competitor, you want to watch these games. You want to be in these games. So, I think the way it's set up is Love's Field is no joke. The fans are gonna come, and if I am Bama, I'm coming in with all everything up because it's just how it is. Love's Field's gonna give them a reckoning, which is fun. We're gonna all be there. So I'm excited. I think just as a competitor, it's just gonna be a good matchup. It's always been one of those matchups ever since the program started, like in the early 2000s, So I think it's gonna be a good one. I think Bama, it's hard to say, they're not gonna be the same because they're just a good program overall, and Patrick Murphy knows what he's doing over there, but it's a super regional. This is to get to the World Series, so I think it's gonna be a good game. It's just our team right now is on a good momentum, and the momentum shifted after that series, and it's just gonna be a good game. I can't really say I don't think Bama's gonna be ready because I think anyone's gonna be ready. They're gonna be
Yeah.
pumped, and anytime you come into Love's Field, obviously, I've never been against Love's Field, but I've always been on the same side. But coming in as a competitor, I want that atmosphere. That's what's going to feel like at the World Series. So they're probably licking their chops a little bit. So I'm excited, but I don't know. I'm always gonna ride my OU sister, so I'm going OU. We're gonna go crazy. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. But Love's Field, oh, the intensity! I can already feel it. It's getting me chills. It's so soon. Like it's what Wednesday today,
Mhm.
and it starts on Friday. I'm like, let's go. Like, come on, let's do it.
I want to ask you about a few of your teammates from last year who are on this year's team, and let's start with Cyd. It just feels like every single championship series she's come up big with the huge hit. What do you think overall about Cyd Sanders? What she could do once again this postseason and kind of the year that she's had?
Yeah, Syd's always just she's a grinder, and the way she does things is she moves in silence because she lets her play talk for herself, and that's, like, what's so good about Cyd. She's a silent confidence, and it's just someone that's a staple in your lineup. You have to have her in the lineup. She knows how to get through the ring. She knows how to get through the lion's den. She knows what it is to take to win, and so I think having Cyd with these young vets. I'm gonna call them young vets because that's what
Mhm.
they are. But she just knows how to guide them in a way to keep them calm, cool, and collective. And I just think anytime the moment's big, she wants it. I mean, she's not saying a lot, but she's ready, and she's gonna compete every single time, and that's the good thing. And then if you talk about just her defense in general, she saves a lot of runs, saves a lot of hits, I would say. The way she stretches for balls when maybe throws aren't as the best, but she's just overall just very cool, calm, and collected with what she does. So it's just Cyd. That's what she's doing. Cyd
Yeah.
the Kid.
Well, the next two, they're different players. I mean, one may be hitting leadoff, the other one may be hitting in the two spot. One plays in the outfield, the other's kind of as a designated player. But I always find myself saying Parker and Pickering, Pickering and Parker. It's almost like they're this duo because they came in at the same time and were so good as true freshmen. I won't group them in together. I'll address them individually. I don't know how I ask you about Ella Parker without asking you about the mammoth home run that she hit last weekend.
Oh
I don't
my
know if it's
geez, yeah.
landed yet. You said it's Wednesday. I don't know if it's landed yet or not,
Oh,
but I just, not to put any crazy expectations on her, but I just feel like by the time it's all said and done, if she stays healthy and everything goes her way, I really think that she could leave this program as one of the greatest pure hitters this program has ever seen. I believe that. What do you think?
absolutely. I mean, just the build, the way she plays, like knowing Ella Parker, you love Ella Parker. The way she plays, everything that she does in life, you just want to love on her. She's an awesome person, but yeah, I think like you guys seen that in a game. I feel like that was every day at practice. So, like me, I'm like, oh yeah, of course she did that. Like, come on now. That's just what practice looked like. And not even just Ella, but Pick too. Like, Pick is honestly like a vet. Like, I just can't
Mhm.
explain it to you. Just the way she carries herself, the way she talks to her teammates is just so. I just call it leadership. That's what it is. And going back to Ella, sorry, I don't want to go into Pick and Ella because they are the duo of the century, honestly. But um they were doing that at practice, so it's hard for me to say I'm not surprised. So, yeah, no, they're just on a good roll, and I honestly think she has good role models in front of her, like obviously Aloe and stuff like that. And the build, I feel like her and Aloe kind of had that same build where it's just like, geez, people die for this. Like,
Mhm.
so yeah, super
And
proud of her.
And Pig just has just a beautiful, God, just a beautiful natural swing. And she's been hitting in the leadoff this year, which I love because one or two things is going to happen last weekend. Either she's going to hit a leadoff home run or she's going to hit a leadoff double and she's already in scoring position. So I give a lot of credit to her for hitting in different parts of the order and still producing the same way. I mean, she's just a pure natural hitter as well, Alynah.
Absolutely. I mean, when you talk about pick, I think of baseball. Her swing is a baseball swing. It's just pretty smooth to the zone. Um, she's just strong though at the same time. Like her and Ella have that same build where they're just strong. They get hits even when they probably weren't fully on time to the ball. So just them having good eyes as well. Like if you think about the walks that Pick has produced as well, it's just over the top.
Yeah.
It's just like crazy numbers. It's video game numbers, and I don't think she gets enough recognition with how many walks she gets being in the leadoff. But that leadoff spot is nice. You get the best pitches usually in the beginning of the game. You start the game off with the rally, and it's in a good spot. So I think coach is very good about reading. And I know the lineup switches a lot, but the way she does it is very strategic and it works. So I just think Pick and Ella are really feeding off of last year's team. They asked a lot of questions last year. Hey, how do I do this? They were learning 24/7, always asking, always like wanting to know. So I think they've just done a great job this year. And they honestly are one of the most legendary duos, I think, in OU softball. You can put them up there with like Tiare Jennings, Jada Coleman duo, Aloe Jennings duo. So they're pretty I'm just proud of them, honestly.
Yeah.
Looking down, they're like my little freshmen. So yeah,
They're not even through their sophomore season yet. We got a lot more time with these two,
absolutely.
which is going to be
Oh yeah.
great. Um, all right, let's talk about you, and let's start at the beginning of your OU career. Arizona kid, went to Arizona State. What was the decision, and what was the process like of deciding to leave your home state and leave the home school and come to OU? What was that entire process like? How did it start? Just kind of take us through that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course. I mean, portal's crazy. Things that went down was I was never in wanting to leave. Coach Ford got a better job at A&M, so it was her whole staff. It was Ford, Harger, and Hef, and they just got a better offer at A&M, and that was my chance. I honestly like was so I've never been out of this like Arizona, like living wise. So I was just like, I don't know if I want to do this. Like, I don't know where I'm gonna end up. My dad was like, no, you need to take this shot. Like, this is your time. Um, Knowing and understanding, like I wanted to be that hometown hero kid, but usually when coaches come in, it's rebuilding, it's all the things, having to learn a new staff. And my dad was like, this is your chance to do something different. And I'm very like, let's just go. Like, I
Mhm.
don't really second guess things. So once I got in the portal, I mean, Coach Gass was calling my phone right after they win the World Series. I mean, I'm not gonna say no. And yeah, I think when I got here, I just fell in love with Coach Gasso and JT and the way they were just so family orientated and like understanding like they were my home outside of my home and my dad could trust them with me and everything like that. I just think it was a no-brainer. And then obviously just seeing Marita and feeling like all the memories of like all the games I watched as a little kid. I'm like, why would I not want to play here? And obviously knowing Grace Lyons at the time, a lot of girls on the team, Hanson, I played against her my whole life. Tiare, same thing. So it was just kind of like a reunion that needed to happen. Not even a reunion, but like oh, okay, cool. I'm on this side now. Like we can be friends now. And so I was just super stoked when I got the call and Hanson was actually my host. So how can you say no? Like you're just throwing all of the goats at me. Like, okay, obviously I'm gonna say yes. So super exciting. And it feels like a long time ago. I don't even remember. I obviously love my ASU days, but I'm like, geez, I feel like I've been with Oklahoma forever.
And Kinsey Hanson's your host on a recruiting visit. Ain't nobody getting out of Norma without committing. There's no
Absolutely.
no chance of that. Well, okay, so there was some familiarity then with the OU softball program. You knew some of the players, you were familiar with the program, all of that. But maybe you weren't familiar with the state itself and not familiar with Norman, Oklahoma. So as an Arizona kid, what were kind of your thoughts about Oklahoma before you got here, and like what did you grow to love about this place as well?
Yeah, good question. When I first got here, it was a little rocky. I'm not going to lie, just because like my family, I'm like 35 minutes away if you go for Tempe to
Hmm.
Glendale, but I just think it was so at first I was like, this is so different and weird, like very slow pace. I mean, the West Coast is just very fast, chaos. Like you could be down the street, it could take you an hour to get to the place you need to go. So understanding like I love the slow pace of Oklahoma. Like I can get to Oklahoma City pretty fast and just like the overall like vibe. Everyone's so just southern hospitality, which I love. I mean, everyone says hi to you. Don't get me wrong, they love their OU sports. Fans are very invested in their sports here. So that was also different to me too, because there's so many different pro leagues, baseball, softball, football in Arizona. So them just being all boomer sooner. I mean, when I
Hmm.
first got here, I was like, oh, like everyone says boomer. Like I have to say sooner, like right after. Like I'm gonna get like someone's gonna come after me right now. So yeah, no, I think it was a different transition. I can't explain the word I'm trying to think of, but let's just say over the years I fell in love with Oklahoma,
Yeah.
honestly. Like it's grown on me a lot and it's really like my second home away from home.
Well, you mentioned the kid that grew up watching OU play games at Marita Hines Field, and what that kid's reaction would have been if at some point they would have been told you're going to win two national championships someday. I mean, that's incredible. But in terms of individual accomplishment in individual moments, and if you grew up watching OU play on Marita Hines Field, I'm going to guess that you grew up watching the Women's College World Series every single year in Oklahoma City. You hit a home run last year against Duke, a two-run
Mhm.
home run. I believe it was in the third inning, maybe it was in the fourth. I mean, come on. You grow up watching this tournament your entire
Yeah.
life, and then you hit a home run in the first game of that tournament. How did that make you feel at the time? And how does that still make you feel today when you think about it that way?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, honestly, I don't think I've ever been more hyped in my life. I'm not very a big like in your face type. I mean, I am, but I'm not. It depends on the day. Depends on the day. But that was one of those moments where I'm like, oh yeah, like there's nothing else I can do but feel just straight chills in my body. That's what you dream of as a little kid. Like I don't care what level you're at, you watch the Women's College World Series if you play softball. So I just think that's probably one of my favorite moments of my softball career because people think it's just easy to do that to get to the World Series. Like it's really not. It like we are just so blessed, and Coach Gasso is just so good at what she does that that's just the expectation for
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma softball. But you grind all these years to get to that one particular spot, and when you get through and you come through for your team, I think it's just like something you'll never forget. And like these are the girls you grind with every day. You're in the trenches, like we call them, in the trenches with them. And like those are the moments you're gonna remember when you're 80 years old or when you get older, like, dang, like that was the time of my life. So um I can't really explain the feeling, just like understanding the fans and how loud and electrifying. And something about me when the crowd's bigger and it's louder, I play better. I mean, it's just something that's like instilled in me. Like the louder it gets, the better I play. And that was just a good moment for me and my team. And obviously things didn't go down the way I wanted to after I got getting hurt and stuff. But like I'm so glad I got to leave with the memories of once again winning, but also being able to like hit a home run. A lot of people can't even like, like that's just not the it's just not usual. Oh yeah, like that was my second time there, hit a home run, whatever. And like you think about my teammates, they were doing it all the time. Tiare, Hanson, you name them, they have like 20 to 10 balls. I'm like, hey, my one's good. I'm good. I'm good.
Well, one of my favorite traditions in sports you were actually a part of, and it's what we're just talking about. I'm going to show you about a 14-second video. You're going to know exactly what it is when you see it, and tell me your reaction from it. But right there,
Yeah.
how cool is that?
Oh yeah.
That's the good stuff right there. I mean, it's not,
Yeah.
and this is why I love it. It's you got to have that moment. You worked your entire life to be on that stage in that moment. We had a photographer, and I got a photo of you crossing home plate. Yes, you looked hyped up. There's no doubt. But your parents get to be a part of that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's your dad will never forget that. You'll never forget that. How cool is that?
Yeah, no, my dad's like my best friend. Obviously, my mom couldn't be there, work problems, or not problems, but she had to be there for work. But um, no, just like sharing that with my dad. Honestly, my dad's been my hitting coach my whole life. So I think that was more for him than really me. I think that's always been his dream. Like if you go on his Instagram page, he's like, I've been waiting for this my whole life. So no, I'm just super glad he got to experience that. And all the guys around him, like all the dads, like we're all super family orientated, so close. OU softball runs deep when it comes to family. So I think that was super fun for him to get his moment. And
Mhm.
um that's just what he wants in life is just to cheer me on the rest of his life. And I think that like that just shows like how much hard work we all put into it. Growing up club ball, is crazy. So I'm super glad he got to have that. And obviously that ball was his. I'm like, you can have it. That's all you. Like I have the memories, I have the videos of me doing it. That ball's for you. So yeah, super cool.
It really is cool. It is. But, the Women's College World Series for you, the entire tournament, I mean, it was a swing of a lot of different emotions,
Hmm.
from the feelings that we just talked about against Duke and then obviously the injury that happened against UCLA. But how much did it mean to you and how important was it for you to be able to come back and get in that bat later in the tournament against Texas? I believe it was a hit by pitch. Like you got
Yeah.
back in, you got hit by a pitch, but still, though, how special was it for you to the injury wasn't the last moment of your OU career. You did get to go back in and, hey,
Yeah.
hit by pitch. That just tells me you got on base. That's all that says to me.
Hey, whatever it takes to get on base for my team, honestly. No, yeah, everything that was a whirlwind. I honestly like it's so funny to look back on because it feels like a lifetime ago from that moment. But one, just my teammates having my back. I think everyone that came in and like obviously Hodge at the moment, me and her like this. So I was just so happy for her that she had her moment as well. Like we've been battling back and forth, but my team overall just had my back in that moment. They knew I wanted to be out there. Don't remember a lot of it because I was on a lot of pills, so my eye would not
Mhm.
kill me during the game. But I'm super glad I got to go in. Coach Gasso, if you ever ask her about it, she like laughed at me because I was just so angry. Like every day I was in and out of the eye doctor. Like I can play, I can do this, and there was a moment where I could have played, and I'm like, I can play, but the cost of not being able to see and being in that moment where like it could be a hard time where we're in a close position to like lose a game. I wouldn't want to be the person being in getting caught up in that, but getting that at bat, it was just so funny. I remember like first of all, I got a standing ovation. I will take it. That was awesome. I mean, a lot of people don't get a standing ovation. I was
It's
like,
true.
awesome, yeah. And like that's just where I felt the love from like Sooner fans, everyone, honestly. And it was just an awesome feeling. But Coach Gasso laughs because I was so angry after I got hit, just because it was just like, dang, like one, it was close to my eye. Two, like I wanted to get a hit, like
Mhm.
I'm competitive. I want to get on base the right way. So um yeah, there's a lot of emotions, but good ones, and it ended up in a win and natty. So I can't really be upset about anything that happened. When people ask me, I'm like, yeah, you could bring up me getting hit in the eye, but there was a whole season behind it, and like it's more than just me getting hit. My teammates, like the love for the game, like you live for those moments whether you're not on the field or you're on the field. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then the ultimate feeling of winning the national championship and beating Texas to do it along the way, which from a fan's perspective is pretty sweet. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah.
But here's how I phrased it, or here's how I said it to Nicole last week. Following the program, I know that there's pressure playing in this program, but I don't really get the day to day pressure that there is. And I don't think that you can truly understand it unless you're in the building every single day.
Absolutely.
So going through that pressure for 2 years and the crazy expectations that are out there to win it, to get that four-peat, to do what nobody else has done. I don't know any other way to ask it like this, but what was it like winning a
Yeah.
fourth consecutive national championship with the program?
Insane. I think we didn't talk about it a lot, but we knew it was like on our hearts. We didn't really want to mention it, but it's just the way people don't understand the work that goes into it and the amount of, like you said, pressure. And not even that, but like our bodies were beat up once it came postseason. Not really beat up because of like playing, just like the overall, like getting up early every day, having to have a full day, like which everyone does, which I get, but it was just like that stress and that pressure of like everyone's always looking at us, like, okay, Oklahoma, show us what you got today. okay, breaking records, here we go. And like that's awesome. Like we wanted that pressure, I think, but there was so much more that went into it. I mean, we couldn't do it without our faith. I mean, obviously believing in ourselves, but also the man above. And I think that's what kind of put us at ease was like it's already written and we honestly shouldn't go out there and play. And that's where I feel it was like you're content with whatever happens because you know it was like it was written out for you. So I think that took a lot of pressure off for us. Also, just overall, we were so close as a team. Like if you think about it, there was 10 seniors. Like you're playing for 10 people who are about to end their college career. There is a different motive behind that. And I think that's where Cass and Ella just really, really, really like understood the mission. And they're like, we are going to win this one for you guys. Like that's just the only way you can go out. And we obviously there were so many moments where there's highs and lows, but I think Coach Gash is so good about us and being mature and being boss woman and talking through things we need to talk through and like celebrating everyone's success. And I think that was so good about having young blood and old blood put together is like there was just so much competitiveness. And just like if you just go to practices, like it's insane. Like I don't know how many people are battling day in, day out at every position. And like you're fighting for a spot every day. It does not matter who you are. Like, yes, you have the games, but even you see Jada Coleman and Tiara Jennings, like they're battling out people. Like there's people right behind them. And you know, you can get your spot taken at any time. And I just think there's so many good things that come out of OU softball, not just softball, but like the way we talk about our teammates, all the things. I mean, you just can't really put into words. Like it's so hard to say. Like if you're not there, you don't get it. So I get it. I love my Sooner fans. We love them, but sometimes like when you guys are very not hard, but like when people are like, "Hey, what's up with OU softball?" It's just like we're just humans too. So I think that's super big as well when you go through, especially World Series. It's a whirlwind of emotions. You're up, you're down. It's quick, it's chaos. So yeah,
Shout out Tina Floyd. Big fan of Tina Floyd and what she's
yeah,
done for pro softball here in the area. I don't know the exact number of college athletes that get to go on and play their sport professionally. It's clearly a very, very low number.
yeah.
How's that experience been with the OKC Spark? Not only get to play pro softball, but getting to play with some other OU players, play around the fans. How's that been?
Oh, so fun. It's like literally like a reunion. It's OU softball reunion. And we bring other girls from OSU. We have Sydney Sherrill from FSU and like just making those friendships with people that we probably never would have crossed paths with if it wasn't for pro softball. So super exciting. I love being in front of OU fans. Those are my people. I love them. They always bring the energy. They're always good. So and honestly, we're playing Hall of Fame Stadium all last year. So I mean, you can't really say anything less than that. And then you have OU alum that are in the running, like Desi Martinez is our special ops, all that stuff. So it's just awesome that she is getting into what she's done her whole life. And we're kind of all just trying to grow the sport one day at a time. But it's super fun. And it's like honestly like a reunion. Like you got Jocelyn Allo there. I'm like, I didn't play with Allo, but that's my girl now. Like, so it's awesome. That sisterhood runs deep for sure.
All right, we'll end it with this. I've got about four subscriber questions or comments for you here. First, Kaylin Kitchen says, not a question, just a comment. I loved hearing the girls in the dugout singing the tequila song, but with Alynah. I would always join in the chorus. Alynah, thanks for transferring to OU. You were a joy to watch. Such an excellent ball player. Is that one of your favorite chants in the
Awesome.
dugout?
Yes, that's my favorite cheer. Like if it's like strictly my name, that's my favorite cheer for sure. Awesome.
Cameron Queen says, from a Washington Husky fan, what was your favorite away ballpark to play in?
Mm, good question. I actually did like Washington's field, but if we're going field that isn't Love's field, ooh, I liked Oregon's field.
Hmm?
Big fan of Oregon's field. And I'm gonna have to say it, U of A.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah,
did you I went to the OU BYU football game and saw their facilities. Did you ever get to play? I know they came Alana came here in Norman
yeah.
last year. I don't know at ASU, did you guys ever go out to BYU and play? That looks
No.
insane.
It does look good because like, the mountains in the back, I like that
Yes.
scenery. No, we never played. They always came to us for that Kajikawa Classic, but, yeah, I mean, I like ASU's field too, so palm trees. I like the palm trees in the back, so
Redneck Peril has a two-parter. I'll read the first one. What is the single most important thing you learned from Patty Gasso?
Okay. Being a boss woman, anything you do it with intent. Take care of the people that are in your circle and be competitive and just love others.
Here's the follow up. What is the single most important thing you learned from a teammate?
Mm, from a teammate, that's a good question. Um, from a teammate. Ooh, I would say just I don't know. I'm a very loyal person. I'm a very loyal, like I ride for my people. So, oh, this is hard. I would say just outcomes don't matter and worldly things are never going to be good enough for us that we have to find our faith and we have to be bigger than just like things that are shiny and look good to us. So I think just being a good person overall. Yeah.
Yeah. Last one. This is from Michael. Alynah, you're not from Oklahoma, but you've remained after graduation. What keeps you in Norman? Also, can you please describe your first phone call from Patty Gasso?
um, Still getting my master's, so that's why I'm still in Norman. Helping out a little bit here and there, and I love giving back. So like I've been doing lessons and stuff. So I'm kind of like giving. Oh, and Spark too. Forgot I
Mhm.
have Spark as well. But and then my call from Coach Gasso. What was I doing? I wish I. Oh, this is I don't know if I'm allowed to say this online, but I was actually at an OSU visit when she called me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I remember looking at my dad, and we are about to be done with my visit at OSU. And I look at my dad and I show my phone, and I'm like, no, I can't. I'm doing it. Like, no one knows, no one knows that I'm here anyways. So when I got the call, I looked at my dad and he just laughed and he was just like, that's God, you're gonna do it. Like I was like, I'm gonna do it. So
Mhm.
yeah. I don't know.
Well,
That was the tricky one. I was just like, I didn't want to get my hopes up either because I'm like, I don't know if it's like I'm gonna get offered or she's just like wondering where my headspace is at. So, but once I finally answered the phone and she did her little hey, 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 I was like, it's over. That's my coach. That's my coach.
I mean, everyone works so hard to recruit, get players via the transfer portal. And what I hear from current former players is just that. Like, Patty just calls me and it's kind of over. Or I feel like I heard a story last year where she called someone and they didn't believe it. Like, there's no way that Patty Gasso was calling me. So yeah, we call her the
It might
goat
have been
and
love. It's actually
she's the
probably
goat.
my roommate. My roommate loved when that happened to her.
Yeah, yeah, that's who it
Yeah.
was. It was Riley
Yeah.
Ludlam. It was like, I don't
Yes.
believe that this is Patty Gasso. That's
We
awesome.
always talk about that. I think it's just like as a parent too, like not me being a parent, my dad, like I think there's a different thrill when like my dad was so hyped for me. Like I try to keep it cool, calm, and collective, and he's just like, "You don't understand who's calling you," and I'm like, "I understand, but I'm not trying to get my hopes up."
Yeah.
And I think like from my dad's perspective, like any parent, like it's so funny we talk about it. Like that's like one of the best things that could happen to your kid if they play softball. Like Coach Gasso's calling you, like
Yeah.
she's literally the go. I'm gonna say it here. I don't care what anyone says. She's the go of all college sports, collegiate sports. You have Nick Saban. I get that. I really do. I just don't know who anyone else that's like Coach Gasso. I just don't. I don't. So she's my goat.
Well, there's a lot of arguments to it, but she won her first national championship in 2000, and
Yeah.
her most recent one is in 2024, and she ain't done winning national championships just yet. Think of all the different eras of collegiate sports where she's won a national championship, where she's had to roll with the punches and adapt. There's been some great head coaches who just kind of won it in one era and it always stayed the way. Like she's adapted, she's flourished. Yeah. No, hey,
Absolutely. I
you get no
agree.
disagreement from me on that take. I
Absolutely.
assure
I
you.
love football. Don't get me wrong. I love football, but I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a hard conversation to have. I don't if someone wants to debate with me, I don't have there's nobody that can change my mind, honestly.
show up to a Spark game this summer and debate
Absolutely.
Alynah from the stands if you're a, Nick Saban believer over Patty Gaxo or something like that. But I doubt that's going to happen. Hey, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for the memories and go have a great summer. Go have a great season with the Spark. I know we'll all be
Yeah.
watching.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a good rest of your day.